What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're doing a basketball reaction, but you got to keep basketball in the mix because all the music ones are going to get copyrighted. So if I start making money, I have to have something to make me money, right? Because basketball is like 1 every 5 videos get copyrighted. Music, it's every single one. So, I mean, I can make music reactions not copyrighted, but I want y'all to see the full video because if I did it to where it wouldn't get copyrighted, I had to blur out the whole video. So I don't want to do that. So I need to do some basketball reactions. Anyway, I love basketball anyway because my channel started out as basketball. So today we're doing NBA Legends explain how good Pistol Pete Maravich was. Y'all ever seen the movie Pistol? It was a good movie, man. It showed like what he had to go through as a kid, how good he was too, and how he had to really be good because of how small he was. And so like he had to rely on his skill more than anything. And I haven't seen the movie in like 10 plus years, so that's literally all the knowledge I have is from that movie. So if that movie's incorrect, I know nothing. So let's get to it. And let's go.
I would like to put Pistol Pete at 2 because for me, he was the first, no offense, Brent, he was the first white guy with style and flair that I've seen. So
why would I take offense to that comment?
Because you're a white guy. You're the first white guy to have the fashion style and between the legs and behind the back. I mean, because my favorite move was the move he did to Jerry West.
Pete Maravich, he would take the basketball, right? And he would fake the pass. He would bounce it here, bounce it behind him, fake the pass, and you as a defender would jump, and he'd turn back around, catch the ball, and shoot.
That's cool.
That was a hell of a move. And I was like, okay, I got to try that. So I tried it in the game. Yeah. And Steve Coulter stole it.
But the master of improvisation was the man known as the Pistol, Pete Maravich, who was turning the court into his own personal stage.
Pistol was like a guy, the game was boring to him, so he had to create things to keep him interested.
Pete just has so much razzle-dazzle in his game. He was just hard to guard.
I like that.
The way he handled the basketball,
I like
so
that.
flippantly.
Is that where they got it from? Is he the first person to do this pass? Yo, let me know. Or not pass, fake pass.
The way he handled the basketball, so flippantly and so sort of carelessly, really offended a lot of basketball purists.
I think it's Rich Kelly.
What Pistol would do, he would take the ball and set it behind his back,
that's dope.
catch the ball, and shoot.
Come on. Who does that? Who's doing this?
And set it
That is
behind his
awesome.
back, catch the ball, and shoot. That was sweet.
He was a true entertainer, and I think he looked at entertainment more than basketball.
He used his basketball as a form of self-expression, and one of the real leaders in bringing basketball into this sort of area of artistry. It was like his form of art.
Nice.
Boy, could he play basketball and could he entertain you. You know, the no-look passes, the dribble the ball, then pat it with one hand. That's where I saw that from Pistol Pete. That's where I got it from.
It was like the ball was an extension of him. He could shoot it from deep, he could take it in, he could wrap it around. I mean, he was doing stuff that you never saw.
Whoa.
You know,
Calm down. Let me see this.
Extension of him. He could shoot it from deep, he could take it in, he could wrap it around. I mean, he was doing stuff that you never saw.
Yeah, I don't think
And, you know, and you never see a white boy doing that on top of that. This is a white boy I'm talking about. This ain't a brother, but he must have had some brother in him because he was a dazzler.
Blanket, what the heck?
My head is in a bad place.
I always said, man, that ball looks like a part of his hand. And I said, he must spend a lot of time dribbling and and able to shoot the way he can shoot.
I don't think that the people
They love that.
now know how really great Pistol Pete was. He was probably my most difficult opponent as far as one-on-one. I saw Earl, the Pearl. I played against Clyde, and I thought those guys gave me problems. Pistol was unique with his ball handling and dribbling and stuff like that. He could just trick guys, and he gave me probably the most difficult time guarding. Isn't as physical as a Clyde.
Sorry, I'm gonna list them again. But what years was this? 60s or something like that? Was it 70s or 60s? So I couldn't imagine like being like the other people and this guy way ahead of his game. I mean, he's doing like Allen Iverson stuff, right? And so like he perfected it first, right? So like, do they even know what's going on? Like the defenders are like, what the heck is going on? Like, how do you guard something you have no idea what's going on? So I was just wondering about that.
Probably the most difficult time guarding. Isn't as physical as a Clyde or Earl, but Pete just has so much razzle dazzle in his game. He was just hard to guard.
Pete was a showman. Played the game with a tremendous flair.
I mean, you look at Jason Williams. You think of Pistol Pete.
Pete was a globetrotter. You know, Pete practiced this stuff, you know, day in and day out, and it was honed in. And Pete had a fire about him.
Looking at some of these little guys here, they probably never saw Pistol Pete play. I hope they look on YouTube. Tell them who Pistol Pete was.
Woo! You know, in college, Pistol and I fought for the scoring leader in the country. And all 3 years, I was second to Pistol. And I used to make excuses. The only reason Pistol scored more than me is because his dad coached him and so on and so forth, until I got to play against him. And that was a lot of baloney. He was, goodness gracious. It's hard to describe somebody that was about 6'6", 6'7", handle the ball as well or better than myself. He just didn't shoot.
I was wrong. I was completely wrong. So I was thinking in the movie he was only like 5'9", 5'10", maybe. He said 6'6". Dude wasn't small. Maybe like little in stature, like his arms and stuff. But he wasn't small. What the heck was I thinking?
The basketball. He was a pure shooter.
Yeah.
He would pass the ball through the eye of a needle. I got a chance to play with him for the first time in the high school All-American game in Memphis. And it's tough. You trying to play your game and you're watching him. Yeah. You know, you're in the backcourt with him. We were starting guards for the All-American team. And I got to be great friends with him from that point on.
I can remember when Pete got traded from Atlanta, where he started his career, over to New Orleans when the team went down there in his expansion team. And they had never won a game. They were 0-14, and they were the worst team in the league. And Otto Moore was the center. They couldn't do anything, but Pete was just lighting them up. And the Portland Trailblazers, we go in there. We had a team, and it was not the championship team, but we had a good enough team. And we were pounding them early, way up at halftime. And Pete, in the second half, just takes over, and he goes absolutely wild. He's playing 1 against 5, and he's up and down the court shooting jumpers, hooks, full court behind the back passes through guys' legs. He's just everything. And in the very last play of the game, we're up 1, and Pete dribbles up. 4 of our guys go chase him because they know he's not going to pass it, and he's falling out of bounds, and he shoots it as he's tumbling over the row of fans in the corner. Literally. And I am standing underneath the basket waiting for the last rebound of the game. We're going to win the game, and they're not going to win a game ever, the New Orleans Jazz. And the ball swishes perfectly through the net. He's unbelievable. And he reminds me a lot, if you can compare him to anybody, to Steve Nash today, although Pete was much bigger. Pete was 6'5", and much more athletic in terms of the jumping ability until he tore his knee up. I mean, that really changed everything for Pete. And amazing about Pete, 44 points per game, career for 3 straight years in an era with no.
Dang, dude. 44 points per game? Career? Is that the highest? Besides Wilt Chamberlain? It's got to be, right? This got to be higher. You don't see, like, Curry's probably going to average 30 his career. 33 maybe. LeBron about the same. Like, what? 44? Back then, that's probably half the points. Jeez.
44 points per game, career for 3 straight years in an era with no three-point line. Dale Brown, who coached at LSU after Press and Pete were there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dale Brown went back and charted all the games with the running score. You know, Maravich free throw, Maravich 22-foot jumper, Maravich layup. And he calculated that with the current college three-point rule at 19.9, Pete Maravich would have averaged 13 three-point makes per game, which would have given him a career average of 57 points per game under today's rules. That
You are 13 3 points a game? Like Curry does it once in a while. He gets like 13 or 12 or 10 or something. But this is every game, dude. What? Holy smokes. He would have been, if he would have played nowadays, he would have been, Curry wouldn't exist. The heck?
guy is unbelievable. We love him. We missed him terribly. What a great friend. What a great...
The time has come for Honor Roll to unveil the greatest player of all time. Pistol Pete Maravich of LSU. Sporting floppy socks and a flashy style, Maravich averaged over 44 points per game. But more impressively, he created a hoops frenzy at a school long known only for football.
I think one of the toughest sells in America was to sell basketball in Louisiana.
It wasn't until Pete showed up on campus and started playing that word spread like wildfire that here was a bona fide superstar.
As soon as he touched the ball, people went to the edge of their seat. You were scared to take your eye off of him because something might happen.
It was as if you had melted down all 12 Harlem Globetrotters and then filled up this skinny 6'6" white frame with everything they had.
It looked like Ichabod Crane out there with a mop on his head or something. He didn't wear those gray floppy socks by accident. He knew that people would see him. He knew that he was selling the game.
I loved him at LSU. Socks flopping. He had flavor. I'm like, wait a minute, where this guy grew up? And he had that something.
You were never quite sure what he was going to do with the ball in the open court because he had 1,000 moves to either shoot it or pass it.
Number 23, Pete Maravich.
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you
just end it like that? What the heck? What the heck? All right. Anyway, that was awesome. Pistol, I did not know he was 6'5" or 6'6". So I was completely wrong on his size. I thought he was a little guy. And that's what made it hard for him to join anything. But maybe they just meant skinny. Maybe that's what they meant. He wasn't strong or something. But 6'5", that's pretty good. They were doing 6'5", 6'6" point guards back then too. So I guess they said 70s. So I was wrong on that too. I thought it was 60s, but 70s. He definitely is, I'm guessing, what paved the way for all these point guards to be flashy. Bob Cousy, the 50s, I think, he was the same way, right? He was pretty flashy, but maybe not Pistol Pete flashy. He was just dribble frenzy. That was a good video. I love how everyone respects him. I think he died early too. I think he died in his 40s. I'm not sure about that. I thought I heard something about that, but yeah. I love the video. Love you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, anything you want. I'm out. Peace.